Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast of a 2v2 match between ZhaoYun, Secondsleft, as Secondsleft spawning as the blue Terran player, Zhao spawning as the red Zerg player. Meanwhile, I am spawning as the teal Zerg player. I did choose random, and finally we have Gifted spawning as the Protoss player. So it is Protoss and Zerg versus Terran and Zerg. Should be a fairly interesting matchup. I hope you enjoy this game. Gifted accidentally types he favors early hard macros, so he accidentally tells him. So we'll see how this particular game goes. Don't mind me just chatting. Now Overlord now moving out, so both of us gonna go ahead and scout out with these Overlords and figure out what exactly the strategies are in fact gonna be. Taking a look at this, I do in fact have my double extractor, and I'm trying to do this double extractor trick to see if it actually is better in terms of economy in being able to try to get. So if you take a look at my drone count, I'm sitting at I believe I was sitting at 12 drones at one point. Now I'm sitting at 11 drones. Excuse me. I'm sitting at on 12 drones, while my Zhao is only sitting on 10. Now also getting that hatchery down. So he went for a 10 hatchery on that spawning pool. Taking a look at this, he is now down to 9 harvesters compared to my 12. So I'm going to be a little bit ahead of him economically. We'll see how this really works as I'm going to go ahead and try to drop down that spawning pool. So that spawning pool down just a little bit later, 125 compared to 300 or 400. So he did a 10 pull based on his spawn, and I'm trying to take a look at this, and yeah, doing that 10 pull very early, I was afraid that he was going to try to mass in some Zerglings and try to push into my base a little bit. So what I did was I'm going to go ahead and position these Overlords. I should have moved this Overlord to this high ground. But anyways, coming back, I'm trying to position these Overlords so I have an early sight and early spotting on any Zerglings that may be coming in. So as long as the Zerglings are coming in, I will be able to save up some of my larvae and then produce Zerglings as well. Taking a look at this, he did the early spawning pool to get early spine crawlers. So those spine crawlers trying to be used as more of a defensive mechanism. Zhao now sitting on 12 harvesters, and as opposed to 15 and 13. So he's going to be definitely behind in terms of his economy right there. Just trying to wall up a little bit more. Taking a look at this, gateway is now being put down by Gifted. Gifted most likely going to be going also some sentries, as we have all seen Gifted go in the past. Taking a look at this, Gifted trying to get that early probe over by this Xel'Naga watchtower so that we have early sight and can see if those Zerglings are indeed in fact coming. I have a group of Zerglings sitting over here on this positioning, able to intercept any early Zerglings that may be trying to come in. Taking a look over here, Secondsleft now also dropping down this one supply depot. ZhaoYun asking, hey, are you from sclegacy.com? Gifted says, indeed I am. Same with Crota. And we both say hi, so that seems to be a fairly common conversation that we have now. Bunker now being put down by Secondsleft, so Secondsleft trying to get those bunkers, trying to wall up, trying to play up a little bit more of a defensive strategy. Taking a look over here, spine crawlers still in this position. See, I tell him, like, yeah, see, Crota or Gifted, you're more known than me. And then he says, hey there, Sai, it's because I talk too much. So, you know, we're just trying to chat, trying to have a little bit of fun here. ZhaoYun is a very good and strong player. We're going to go ahead and try to move out and try to meet. He does, in fact, go for some Zealots, and I, in fact, go for some Roaches. So it's going to be Roaches and Zealots, a very strong Tier 1 combination. Those Zealots able to sit up in that front line, dealing a large amount of melee damage, and then followed behind it we have those Roaches also dealing a lot of damage as well, able to focus fire, and even when the Zealots go down, the Roaches are in fact able to tank a fair amount of damage. Wanted to take down that one particular Zergling before it saw if I had this fast expansion. I wanted to keep him in the dark as much as possible. Zergling now going to be trying to run into Gifted's base, going to go ahead and do a little bit of scouting. Probes coming off that line, quickly taking it down, zapping it to death, so down it goes. And now Gifted once again starting to mine back up once again. Taking a look at the whole entire overlay, we have ZhaoYun now trying to upgrade the armor on those Zerglings, so those Zerglings will in fact be taking less damage from those Zealots. So even if those Zealots do in fact get that upgrade, get the weapons upgrade, the armor upgrade of the Zerglings will be able to in fact cancel it out. Taking a look, like, no upgrade to warp gauge yet, no upgrade for hallucination, and now getting the the Twilight, or not the Twilight Council, yeah, the Twilight Council, and also trying to produce some additional sentries, trying to get some additional energy to produce those sentries. Taking a look at the armies right at this point, 600 for ZhaoYun, 800 for Secondsleft. I'm sitting at 525, and Gifted is sitting at 600. So everyone pretty much sitting on a fairly small army, and everyone trying to figure out what the strategy is of their opponent. We need to test the waters, test the front doors, make sure no one's not doing anything tricky, no one's doing any sort of fast expand. Secondsleft does in fact have bunkers on this particular ridge, so he will be able to protect himself fairly easily. Zergling's now once again moving back out. Zergling's gonna run headlong into our army and get taken down very easily. So one Zergling getting taken down. A probe now going to get taken down by that single Zergling. Zergling now getting taken down as well. So we are able to go ahead and just do some scouting. I'm going to go ahead and move a single Zergling over here to try to see if there is in fact an expansion, and also move another Zergling over here in order to see if there is an expansion, as I want to make sure bunker having to be salvaged, as those units didn't want to sit in that position. Secondsleft still sitting on a fairly large army, but his Terran army is really not that mobile. Zerg now going to go ahead and try to check this positioning over here. In come those Marines and those Marauders. Zergling's going to try to come back in and try to take down some of these units, and now Zergling or those Marines being forced to pull back a little bit. Once again, taking a look, sitting at layer tech, and now researching burrow and researching the movement upgrade in order to try to have my roaches not get outflanked. Taking a look at this, there's a fair number of Zerglings and roaches now coming into this position. We're trying to figure out what exactly our strategy is coming back, and it's like, now let's go. So we're going to go ahead and try to push into this main base. A turret now being brought into position, and those Marines able to shoot down those roaches. So roaches taking a fair amount of damage from those units. Those bunkers are upgraded, so those upgraded bunkers have 6 capacity as opposed to just that 4. We're trying to move back out. He has the Neo frame upgrade, and now also trying to push back out. So very, very highly upgraded bunkers. Taking a look at this, yeah, also getting that armor upgrade as well. Taking a look over here, we have roaches and those Zerglings trying to come into position, trying to do a little bit of an engagement over here, and instead Gifted wants to go ahead and try to push off into this main base. We have some roaches on that high ground. We're going to have our zealots now trying to come in, and he says that they're both trying to tech to drop. So trying to do a little bit of a fight, trying to use that Guardian Shield to the best of our ability, trying to protect our units, trying to focus down some of those roaches. Low hit point roach trying to move to the back, trying to once again re-engage. We'll see how this really works. Roaches getting focused down by both sides, as Gifted now going to lose that last single sentry and the rest of these units right here. So I lose my roach army against ZhaoYun's single force field being left behind, and down they go. So a fairly even fight. Now I have in fact upgraded the Hydralisks though, so those Hydralisks going to be used as a better counter towards those Marines, as the Hydralisks fire faster than those Marines and also have a better range. Taking a look at this, I also have damage upgrades on my Hydralisks, so I want to be able to pull them back out. I know that those roaches are going to be able to walk fairly quickly on that creep, so I'm kind of nervous as I'm trying to get back onto that high ground. I want to get up to that high ground and just trying to fight back here. Able to focus down some of those units. Two roaches getting taken down, and now trying to fight back here, trying to pull them back. And they don't really want to break this high ground, because if they break that high ground, they may lose a lot of those units. Zealots now, or sentries now coming in from this backhand side. So large number of sentries, and now in come those sentries. So those sentries trying to figure out what exactly they can do. Doing a very good job of just using those force fields, making those roaches unable to really engage right there. So really, really nice play, using those force fields and making it so those roaches really have nowhere to go. Sentries now once again trying to re-engage on this fight. More force fields pushing those units back. Hydralisk coming on from that backhand side, able to focus down a lot of those roaches. Roaches really having nowhere to go, trying to get regrouped and then getting taken down. So we're able to just really pull out in that particular situation. Secondsleft still with a fairly large army. ZhaoYun on a fairly small army, and then me and Gifted sitting on a 650 and a 550 respectively. Go ahead and stay tuned for part 2 of what I expect to be a 4-part replay here on Lost Temple. I'll let the replay run just a little bit long so that I do in fact get this onto four parts. Hydralisk now moving out, going to go ahead and try to activate this Xel'Naga Watchtower. Sentry is also trying to get Hallucination, so we're going to see Hallucination used by Gifted here in just a moment. Yeah, going to go ahead, stay tuned for part 2.